Klay, and so this has been good for him.
Has he made any type of play, move, whatever during the last few days where you're like, oh, okay, he's looking like himself?
Yeah. He's yesterday he had several of those moments, pulling up and splashing a 30-footer in transition, or he's looking really bouncy. He had a dunk off 1 foot yesterday, and then came right back down, and in transition had a dunk off 2 feet, and the guys were bouncing off the walls. They were so excited for him, and so it's all been positive.
Hello, Coach.
Yes.
Hello. First of all, how you missed the official games so far?
How am I missing the
playoffs? To play official games.
Oh, we would love to be playing real basketball games, but this is as good as we can do. So we're taking advantage of our time and getting some good work in, and watching the playoff games that are happening, and getting ready for next year. So beyond that, we don't think too much about anything else.
And about the practices, do you feel that this type of sessions will go and help your team to be ready for the next season whenever you will start the season?
Yeah, I think these sessions are really, really important for our young players. It's been 6 months, more than that actually, probably 6.5 months since our last game. So to get actual live competition and training camp drills and 5-on-5 action is crucial for the young players especially. So it's been very productive.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Steve. This is Wes. Did you watch last night's debate? And if so, did you have any thoughts that you wanted to share with us?
I watched for about 45 minutes, and then I couldn't take it anymore, so I turned it off. It was just embarrassing. And it wasn't informative at all. It was just, I felt like I was watching the Jerry Springer show. So I don't like the Jerry Springer show. Is that even on anymore?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either. But that's what it felt like. So it's embarrassing that even presidential debates now have fallen to the point where we can't even have discourse and intelligent conversation about all the issues that our country is facing. It's very, very sad.
Coach, Chris Chaldas from Greece. First of all, if you had the dilemma about Biden and Donald Trump, who would you pick?
That's a dilemma?
Yeah.
For you, maybe.
Oh, no, because they had the debate last night.
Yeah, it's not a dilemma. It's a relatively easy choice for me.
I guess you will never pick Donald Trump, I guess.
You guessed correctly.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hey, Steve. Understanding that this is a voluntary camp, what have you noticed without Draymond there to help guide some of the guys, and who might be the voice filling that void?
Yeah, it's a very quiet group without Draymond, and so it has been interesting just to watch the leadership void and who is filling that void. I think Damion Lee and Kevon Looney have sort of emerged as the leaders in many ways. They're I believe the longest tenured players here with the Warriors, so it's very natural. And Loon in particular has been through the battles, and I obviously Clay's been part of this too, so I should Clay's the longest tenured Warrior, but I'm just talking in terms of sort of the other guys and who would fill the void. So it's a quiet group. Loon's very quiet. Damion's probably our most vocal player now, or our most vocal leader, but it's definitely a different dynamic, not having Draymond and his voice and his presence.
Steve, are you willing to share what you can of your scrimmage schedule and your off-day schedule for the next few days?
Yeah, we're going to scrimmage tomorrow afternoon at 2:00, and so we're changing the schedule up a little bit, moving the time back to give the guys a chance to sleep in tomorrow morning, and then we're going to scrimmage up on the main floor, and not sure exactly what it'll look like in terms of a time frame. We have 13, I believe, healthy bodies for the scrimmage, or 13 players who will scrimmage. And so, 7-on-6, we're not playing a really long scrimmage, but we want to just change up the vibe, and players will wear uniforms, and we'll try to make it as game-like as possible.
Regarding the scrimmage, are Klay and Eric Pascal, are they clear yet?
No, they're not gonna take part, and it's just out of precaution. It's not due to injury or anything else. It's just the way we feel most comfortable with the progression for each one.
Steve, what's it like for you right now in the bubble? Obviously, everything going on politically, but also sports is going with no fans. There's baseball playoffs. Just where are you at on just like what the world is like right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think thinking about our lives right now compared to a couple of years ago, I don't think this was fathomable to any of us that we could be in the position we're in right now. It's really bizarre. So, it's a good time to be together as a team, because I think it helps to be able to have discussions and try to listen to other people and try to learn as much as we can. We had Brian Stevenson address the team yesterday, who was just stunning in his clarity and vision of what's happening in the country, and I think the players have felt really good about just the ability that we have to discuss all these issues together. But there's no getting around the fact that we're all living in this bizarre world, and we all can't wait to get out of it and be able to take the masks off and have fans in the stands and hopefully make progress on the issues that we need to make progress in. But strange times. The other thing I want to mention real quick, I know this is unprompted, but the Doc Rivers news the other day hit me, and I never really comment too much on what a team does, because there's always so much behind the scenes that we don't know about. And so I just want to speak from the heart and talk about how much Doc means to the league and to his fellow coaches and to the players in the league. His voice is so crucial with the current social movement. His words have been so powerful. His leadership has been so strong and important. And so I want to just thank Doc. Hopefully he'll be back coaching if that's what he wants to do. but I want to thank him for his leadership within the league during his many years of coaching. He's been amazing, and that news hit all of us hard. Our coaching staff was really, it felt like a gut punch because we respect Doc so much.
Hey, Coach, this is Rich with Let's Go Warriors, and we're going to get Damion on here soon. I was just wondering, is he just basically going to have the same role as last year, or do you have any other adjustments with him?
Well, I think the biggest thing with Damion is that he's become a really big part of our soul, of our fabric. He's such a great human being and a great teammate, and just the way he approaches each day, the maturity level, the leadership. So he's an integral part of things. The role, everybody's role changes year to year based on how the season's going, who's healthy, what's going on roster wise. So who knows who we draft, who we sign in free agency, who we trade for. I have no idea what training camp is going to look like, what our roster is going to look like. So there's no guarantees, but I know that Damion is a big part of our identity and our culture, and I am really thankful to have him here. He's an amazing person and really a good solid pro.
Thanks.
Steve, just to follow up on the Doc thing quickly, you've seen everything that can happen in the league. How surprised were you in that moment when that news came down that they were pardoned?
Yeah, Nick, I was surprised, but when you're in this business, nothing really should surprise any of us. And yet it does. But like I said, teams are going to do what they're going to do, and they have their reasons for doing it. And I'm never going to question another team for a decision they make. Everybody's got to do what they have to do to move forward. So that's not what this is about. For me, this is just about the void that will be left. With Doc not and leading his team and leading the league, and he just seems to me like a pillar in this league, and I think we need him.
What is Doc like as a competitor and a strategist? And if he's not in the West anymore, will you miss those matchups?
Well, Doc's an incredible competitor and somebody who is so passionate about what he does, and I've always just enjoyed competing against him, and because there's a sense of you're going to go as hard as you can against each other, and then afterwards you appreciate the competition and you enjoy the fellowship and the camaraderie, and so there's always a mutual respect with Doc. I think everybody in the league feels that way, and he's always carried himself with that kind of confidence and respect, I really hope he gets right back into coaching on a personal level.
Steve Steppen's trainer, Brandon, has been talking about how hard he's been pushing himself throughout this pandemic and looking forward to playing many more years in the NBA. I'm just wondering, have you had much contact with Steph and just talked about kind of where he is physically and mentally?
Yeah, I just saw Steph a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks before this camp started. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was 3 weeks before camp. But he was coming into our building quite a bit and getting plenty of work in, and he looked in amazing shape. And it's not at all surprising. I've never been around anybody who prepares any better than Steph, and so he's going to leave no stone unturned. And so he's we've been in touch and texted in the last week, and I have no doubt that he's working his tail off, and he's going to have a phenomenal season for us. There's little doubt in my mind, because I've seen the conditioning and the work that he's put in, and he looks better than ever.
Sounds like you're really worried that he's not there.
Yeah, it's really, really a concern. I got to make sure he's actually putting in some work.
Is this the Dodgers year?
What's that?
Is this the Dodgers year?
I don't know. I just want the Twins to win a playoff game. 17 straight playoff games. That's. I don't know any Twins fans, but I feel bad for Twins fans. They got to win one game.
What year does that date back to?
I don't know. Raymond had some wise ass comment that I'm not going to repeat.
The best part of these Zoom calls, we don't have to hear that.
That's right.
Link Central calls, my bad.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Steve, from Puerto Rico. How do you see the prospects of this draft class and the potential?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a fun year for me to really delve into the draft and the prospects, and I've watched a lot of tape, and very excited. We're going to get a really good player too. There's plenty of talent. There's always talk that if a draft is weak or strong or whatever, but nobody really knows until a couple of years later. But there's no doubt that we're gonna be able to bring somebody in who's very talented, and then it'll be up to us to help him get better.
Are you still kind of part of this draft prep? I mean, I know they're going through a combine right now, a virtual combine. Like, are you still kind of helping out with that?
Yeah. We interviewed one of the prospects yesterday, and I was part of the interview, and so I'm jumping in where I can.
In typical years, you guys would get summer league to test out the prospect or whoever you draft. What do you like once you draft the guy this year? Are you going to want to get him right in and try to meet him, get him in the system, that type of stuff? Or what's, I guess you don't know, but what are you hoping for right after the draft?
Yeah, that's the big question. So we don't know what the league is going to allow, but we are hopeful that as soon as the draft happens, we can get right to work with the player that we draft. So we'll see how it all plays out, but we'd like to get to work right away, get the player involved in the program and in the weight room and training room with Rick and his group and on the court for workouts. But it's really up in the air at this point still. We don't know how the league's going to handle that. Raymond's going to cut it off. Right. Thanks, everybody.
We're going to try to get Damion up here in just a few minutes for you. All right.